Hi everyone, Animal Girl here, back with another edition of TV Talk. It's Tuesday, and that means it's Star Wars Day. And this week's episode of The Clone Wars was Kidnapped. Upon receiving a distress call, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano journey to the planet of Kiros with the 501st Legion, only to discover that the colonists there are all gone. However, they soon learn the reason why. Zeragos slavers have come and taken the colonists, all Tarugas from the planet Shili, captive and plan to sell them as slaves. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka must figure out where the colonists are being held and find a way to rescue them before they're sold into slavery. Okay, things I liked about this episode. I really liked that we got to see a little of the Taruga culture. We have been seeing Taruga basically since the start of the Clone Wars series with Ahsoka, and we've also seen a little bit of the Taruga custom with Shati as well, although Ahsoka is the main Taruga we spend a lot of time with. But we don't delve that much into their culture or their planet or anything like that. We mainly see Ahsoka, although we do see Shakti as well from time to time. But other than that, we don't see that much culture-wise of them until we got into this episode, where we actually got to see the male and not only female Taruga, which we've seen quite a bit with again, Ahsoka and Shati, but we also see the male Taruga as well. And we do see a slight difference in appearance from the male Taruga to the female Taruga in regards to their horns or montrals. Now, is this something that is constant with the male and female Tarugas? Are the female Taruga and male Taruga's montrals very different from each other, or is it just a couple of males we've seen have had the different montrals? I don't know. That is something that we would have to explore further with other episodes. But in regards to this episode, it is something that is noticeable. So as far as, is this an evolutionary thing between the males and the females, I'd have to say yes, based on the evidence we have. It is a common fact that sometimes males and females of the same species do look different. We know for a fact that the males and females of the Twi'lek species look slightly different. The females have cone ears, the males have more human-like ears, and their laku are slightly different. The females almost have this look with their laku where there is no break in where their head ends and the laku starts, where the males tend to have more of a defined difference. And even in our world, we do see differences between the males and the females of the species. Deer, for example, the bucks grow these beautiful antlers that they use for display purposes for the females and to fight off other males for females, where the females don't have antlers. Birds, great example of birds. The male birds tend to be a little more flashy, a little more pretty than the females. And this, again, it's an evolutionary thing. The males have to be flashy to attract the females, and the females have to be less flashy for when they're sitting on the nest hatching their eggs so predators don't see them. So could the difference between the male and female of the Taruga species be an evolutionary thing? Possibly. But again, we'd have to actually learn more about that through other sources. Maybe in the new Star Wars series, if there's a Taruga in there, getting a little more into that species and learning about it, or a book based on the Taruga species, like maybe taking place on Shili or Kiros, where we can get a little more into the details of their culture. But we do get a little taste of it in this episode, and I'm sorry if I went off a little there, but it was something I wanted to address. We see a lot with not necessarily the way they treat one another, male and female-wise. Like, we don't know which is the more dominant of the species. We don't know if their society is matriarchal, which means the females are in charge, or patriarchal, which means that the males are in charge, or if they have equal roles. What I mean by that is, so we don't know that much about it, but we do see more of an architectural look to it, their buildings and whatnot. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, we can't say that the buildings on Shili, or, on Shili are the same as the buildings on Kiros because they're two separate planets. But again, take into consideration, we are in a Taruga settlement. So it stands to reason that the settlers would model their buildings on their new planet of Kiros after the buildings that are on Shili. So I have every confidence if we were to go in a Star Wars movie or an episode in the new Star Wars series, that if we were to go to Shili, we would see buildings very similar in architectural design to the buildings we saw in this episode on Kiros. But again, I did like seeing a little bit about the Taruga culture. The Tarugas are one of my favorite Star Wars species. So when getting to delve a little into them and their culture was a nice little bonus touch. Even if they didn't do too much, even if we just got a glimpse and they didn't really describe it all, just getting a glimpse of what their culture was like, just visually, was enough to satisfy me. I really, really liked that. Okay, things I didn't like about this episode. There really wasn't a lot I didn't like about this episode. I thought it was very well written, very well set, portrayed. This is the first of a 3-part arc, just so you know. So we will get into a little more of what's going on here. And one of the other things I really liked about this episode was that not so much we, the audience, learn about Anakin's past, but Ahsoka learns about his past to a degree as well. We learn that Anakin was very closed off about his past, and with reason being, he spent the first 9 years of his life as a slave. We know he had at least 2 masters, possibly more. But he had at least 2, the Hutt who owned him and his mom prior to the Phantom Menace, and then Watto who owned them during the Phantom Menace. And then he goes back to Tatooine 10 years later to save his mom, and he's unable to save his mom. So we do know that he has issues in his past and things he doesn't want to talk about. And Ahsoka, being the curious little sweetheart that she is, I don't think she actually really means to open old wounds. I think she just wants to know more about her friend. Her friend is constantly asking him questions about his past that he doesn't want to answer. And so she doesn't know that much about her past. So Obi-Wan, feeling a connection to both of them because he trained Anakin and basically raised Anakin, and I guess kind of sees Ahsoka as part of his extended family because of that, because she is Anakin's apprentice. Kind of tells her about the past, about Anakin's past, or at least what he knows about Anakin's past. So that was something I did like as well. I mean, it doesn't satisfy the curiosity for the audience because we already know about his past, but it satisfies the curiosity of Anakin's past for a character that is much beloved by the audience. But again, this is things I didn't like. So again, really nothing I didn't like about this episode. We will get more into... I will come up with points for things I didn't like in the next episode and possibly the third episode of the arc, but for this particular episode, nothing really worth noting. Okay, question of the week. As I stated earlier, the Taruga species is one of my favorite Star Wars species. I actually have enough to probably fill a top 10 list, and I will more than likely do that after the holidays. Or a video on that after the holidays. But my question for you guys is, what is your favorite species from Star Wars? Okay, please leave your answers in the comment section. And please note, if you happen to like a certain character species, but you don't know what that species is called, you can put that character's name with an apostrophe S and species, and that will be acceptable. For example, if you like Yoda's species, and they really don't come out and say what Yoda's species is, I will accept Yoda's species as an answer. I will accept Grievous's species as an answer since we don't really know what species he is. So those are acceptable. If you don't know what the actual answer, what the actual species name is, I will accept the character's name and species as an answer. Just no humans, please. These have to be non-human species. So Tarugas, Nautolan, Twi'lek, Hutts, whatever Yoda is, whatever Plo Koon is, Wookiees, whatever Cad Bane is, whatever Hondo is. If you've seen Rebels, I will accept Lasat as well, even though they're not current in, even though they're not in Clone Wars, I will accept them because they are current in the Star Wars lore. I will accept Lasat. So anything that's not human, or droid. Droid does not count as a species in here. I want sentient, flesh and blood creatures that are not human. So human and droid are off the list. Anything else is fair game. Also, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. And please like and share this video if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Also, for those of you watching on YouTube, I will have the link to those 5 sites in the description section as well, if that makes it a little bit easier for you guys. Please note, all pictures seen within this video belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Feel free to check out my related Star Wars videos. My other TV Talks videos on Star Wars. My other TV Talk videos. And my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, two things I'd like to touch on. The first one is for my YouTube subscribers, and that is that TV Talk will be posted both to my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. If you'd like to check out any of the backlog videos of TV Talk that are not on YouTube, you can feel free to check them out on Facebook or on my Facebook page. I will have the link in the description section. And this one is for my Facebook friends, and that is that all of my older special edition videos, plus all current videos, with the exception of Fanfic Corner, will be posted strictly to my Facebook page, or not my Facebook page, my YouTube channel. However, I will put the links in the description. I will post the links to Facebook, so hopefully you'll be able to see them that way. This is basically due to the fact that with work and everything else I have to do, I can't constantly be posting videos strictly to Facebook. For my computer, it just takes way too long. Particularly videos like these that I like posted on a certain day. So I will just do the link instead. I think it'd just be a lot easier. If you're having problems viewing them on Facebook and you have a YouTube subscription, or you have a YouTube account, just follow me on YouTube and you can watch them there. As always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be be with you.